Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Mickey, and I wanted to do this video. It's a reaction video to Shane Dawson's YouTube series he's doing on Logan Paul's brother, Jake Paul. Now, I've never watched those videos except for like when the controversies would come out, because the Paul brothers and that style of YouTubing is just not my thing. But I am totally fascinated 100% with Shane Dawson's new series that he's been doing for a while now. When he was younger, never watched any of his stuff because my kids watched it. I thought it was kind of silly. But as he's gotten older as a YouTuber, I really enjoy his new series that he has. Just very documentary style, and I love it. So I wanted to make a comment because this whole thing has like completely blown my mind. First of all, I love doing YouTube, and I've been doing it. I'm going on my third year this week. Actually, in 4 days will be officially our third year. And during that time, I wanted to make sure that when I did YouTube, that I tried to be authentic. I didn't want to look fake. I didn't want to put up fake saying like, oh, we're the best dance studio ever, or, put a fake image about everything's perfect at our studio, or, here I am, like, I don't ever hardly wear makeup in my videos. Shoot, I went on Dr. Phil with family stuff that we were dealing with in our family, and we vlogged about that as well. So I try to be really authentic in everything that I do. And that's the thing that I love about Shane. And I think that's why I love this series, is because he's trying to get to the truth and the authenticity of who these characters are. Because YouTube has become character motivated. That's why I love Colleen Ballinger. She's also known as Miranda Sings, which Miranda Sings, I don't really watch that, but the kids do. But I love Colleen's like personal vlogs because those are authentic to who she is. At least I think that's who she would be. It seems like Jake's and Logan's and some of these other young kids that do these YouTube videos, they're all over the place. And their brand is about being savage and being hardcore and doing just crazy stuff. And it's just all lots of loudness and craziness. And, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a spider on my face, and I'm going to jump off this thing, and I'm going to set my brother on fire, and I'm going to get in an MMA fight with him, and all this kind of it's just too much for me. It's too intense. And a lot of it to me seems not real. It just seems like, okay, you're doing this because it's so grandiose, it gets you views. And I think that's where the problem lies in this. It's not just about that they're mentally unstable or dysfunctional. They clearly are, especially after today's episode. If you haven't watched that episode yet, you need to. It talks about the family. You can see the dynamics of the family. I know a lot of families that are like this. Especially with the father being the big pusher about athletics, and we got to be winners, win, drive. I totally know people like that in this town that I live in right now. You always have to have this perfect image. You always have to have the perfect, all Americans are like that. I have to, I have a Beamer in my driveway. You have to have a Beamer because you saw me with the Beamer. That was the mentality in California. I hated it. Out here, it's all about having the big truck, or I got to be the perfect student, or I've got to be the kid who is the best athlete on the team, or I've got to be the homecoming candidate, or I have to be, I can't be authentic to who I am. Everybody always has to play an image because they're afraid of being authentic, especially if your authenticity means that there's some skeletons in your closet, so to speak. And I don't know one person who doesn't have like skeletons, if not probably an entire graveyard in their closets, especially around here. So I love that Shane is being so authentic with this. And I know that he's concerned about hurting his parents and their reaction and his fans' reactions and the other fans of the Pauls' reactions and stuff like that. And that's just how Shane is. He is so concerned about everyone else. But he is also a truth seeker. And I think that's why he does all those conspiracy vlogs and things like that. And he really is a sensitive, caring person. I can tell, not just because of his vlogs, but just his, like, the way he's reacting. It's true. It's honest. It's authentic. Here's an example. I used to watch the Shay Tards all the time. Shay Carl had like an incident that happened. He was the leader of this family, and he had a falling from grace, so to speak, by doing some inappropriate things with another social media chick. And he had some alcoholism issues, and he's trying to recover and reclaim coming back from that. And it's hard. His brand was family. His brand was being the perfect family. And that's the scary part about YouTube. If you're trying to be authentic and you're trying to be true, how true can you be? Because people are so judgmental. So I love the Shay Tards and Shay Carl. I still watch his vlogs when I get a chance to. But it's not that his incident soured me. It was that it would have been better if he had been discussing those issues instead of hiding them, because he was trying to uphold his brand image. So this is my suggestion with this whole thing with the Paul brothers. If Logan Paul is going to come out and say, yes, I have sociopathic tendencies, and the savageness is because of this disorder, he better own it. He better come out and really own it. Like, let's not pretend that we're still playing a character and then behind the scenes he's something else, because, you know, it's all about getting those views, because the views equals cash flow, which equals power and money and all that kind of stuff. So if he is as savage as he says he is, then he better own it and just deal with it. And then let's see you authentically going through therapy to change those tendencies, because nobody should be a person without any empathy. They need to learn how to use that and do things to do better. So for example, like with us and our family, we went on Dr. Phil. We dealt with family issues that we're still dealing with, but we're being authentic about it. Nobody in this town doesn't know that my family is still working on getting better and being more healthy, and every day is a struggle. So you know, we did not choose to go on there to gain any fame or glory. I didn't get one penny from that. I got nothing but negative stuff from it. But I did gain my family back, because at the time my family was ripping apart. There was no communication with my son and my husband, and it was scary. And now there is therapy going on. There is communication again. We're able to come together as a family. And it's, any family will tell you, it is not something that's going to be clicked like that. It's going to take lots of work, especially when a family member is dealing with a lot of PTSD, trauma and things like that they can't process and they have a hard time dealing with. It's like dealing with a family member who has got a drug addiction or alcoholism, or any kind of disorder that makes them like not be able to function on a normal basis to being a happy person. And I know many people in this town who have those problems and have gone through those problems, and some have recovered and some are still struggling. And I try not to be judgmental to people like that. I try to Understand that everyone has a past and everyone has a future and everyone has a road to move in hopefully a better direction. That's what we all want as human beings. And that's what I'm saying for the Logan Pauls and the Jake Paul. If you are authentically a sociopathic person or have a personality that is closer to that or in any of those traits, why don't you be the first one that like actually comes out and admits to it and seeks help? Don't be fake about it. Be true to it. So, as far as my reaction for Shane, Shane, you just got to keep doing what you're doing and don't let all of the outside stuff scare you or influence you into thinking what you're doing is not good, because what you're doing is you're telling truths. And sometimes it can get scary, and I get that, but you have a great support system, and you just got to keep staying honest and true. And that's what makes this series amazing. So like I said, I've never watched the Logan Paul brothers. I never even heard of Jeffree Star actually before he did his series either. So on Jeffree Star. Same thing with Tana Mojo. I knew none of this stuff. And I love that I can see that Shane is trying to show truths. There's a lot of scandals that have been popping up about YouTubers. There's a lot of scandals that have popped up about social media stars. And they're different than Hollywood stars. They're different than musicians. Musicians and Hollywood stars always play a character, or they're playing some kind of a role because they're trying to like sell their brand. YouTubers don't have that luxury as much, because most of the time you're not given a script. Most of the time it's really you, and you have to design your direction of what you want to tell in your story. And the way I look at it is this way too. I have a granddaughter. In 30 years from now, when she's like my age or close to my age, I guess it would be more like 40 years. When she's at my age, I want her to be able to look back at my videos and not see here's a pretty package with a bow and tie it around with the ribbon on it of what our life was like. I want it to be truth and authentic as much as I can be. You know, I don't want to tell a sad story every week and tell all my dirty secrets and tell all my sad stories, because nobody wants to watch that. So, and I think that's what YouTube should be. And I really hope this encourages other YouTubers to be more authentic. Stop trying to portray these characters and brands, because ultimately, if you get wrapped up too much into your brand and you lose focus, your truth and your authenticity can possibly damage your brand. So even if it's bad and you have some Dr. Phil moments in your life, it's okay to talk about it. And it's okay to, like, you know, say, yes, I have this problem, or I have that problem, or whatever. As long as you're trying to still keep reaching towards that truth and being a really honest person. And that's all that really matters. So again, just my thoughts, and leave your comments down below if you agree with me. If you don't, if you haven't seen the series by Shane Dawson, I highly suggest you go watch it. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Bye.